Dude, move. Hear ye, I present to you free thoughts on the proceedings of the King of D.I.Y. 'Twas the spring of 2020, and the King of D.I.Y. allegedly conducted himself in an unbecoming manner on 2 separate live streams. Dissatisfied with the community's response, the king took to Twitter to defend his actions. But as the tide continued to turn, the king quickly deleted his comments and lo, the entire account. Still, it wasn't enough. The king had rebels speak out against him. They made videos discussing his behavior, and so the king struck back by claiming the videos and thus silencing their voices.
Nobody cares,
Was there a
asshole.
misuse of power? How did the king come to hold his throne? And is he plagued by the same madness known to kings the world over? Join the rebellion! Join the resistance! And welcome to the final episode of Internet Animal Content.
You'll be back, soon you'll see.
Hi folk, welcome back to the channel. My name's Justin, and this of course is another episode of Regicide for Dummies. Yes, that's right, we are talking about the king.
Come at the king, you best not miss.
The king was a pretty popular topic to talk about back after his infamous live streams happened, but a lot of videos came out at that time and I thought they were really good and didn't feel like I needed to say anything, except a lot of those videos have now been claimed, and so I want to make a video even though it's not really a popular topic anymore. Nobody should be defined by the worst things they've ever done, and I'm not trying to do that here. But you also just don't get to decide that the bad things that you do didn't happen, especially when those bad things hurt other people.
I'm going to.
And that's what I think happened here. I think a lot was swept under the rug after Joey's live streams, and now there's not a lot of information out there, and I want you, dear viewer, to be informed about who you choose to support. If you're wondering if I'm worried about making this video and getting it claimed, I'm not, because of 2 things I realized. Firstly, I'm a small channel, so the idea of content claiming a channel with under 100 subs is laughable.
They'll still gain out of this.
But also B, I realized that much like Ozymandias at the end of The Watchmen,
I triggered it 35 minutes ago.
well, more like 3 months ago, but I already used Joey's live stream footage in a video, and you know what happened? Nothing.
Everybody calling me a bully.
Everybody's calling me the bully.
Good people, it is my fear that the king has grown beyond being a bully. Censoring dissenting voices and making people live in fear of reprisals are not tactics of a bully. No, those are tactics of a tyrant. And the only thing that can stand up to a tyrant is a jester. So let's crack open that king crab, dive in, and see why he ended up in boiling water by starting with the live streams. We're in trouble. To set the stage for the first one, the king had had a little bit to drink.
I was drinking.
And he had been streaming for
6 hours.
making it
5 o'clock in the morning.
Now, I believe you are not supposed to feed trolls after midnight, but he was roasting some of his subjects, and his subjects were roasting him back. All good fun, and then he decided to invite...
It's a 17-year-old kid that gets on.
They troll Joey by telling him to go to bed. And the king's reaction was, of course, a healthy and measured one.
I bashed him
Let me see your body. You look like you drink too much pop.
hard.
You got nice acne.
I went at him.
She's bigger than you.
If you're a person in a position of power, there are certain things that you should... I can't wear this anymore.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
If you're a person in a position of power, like a supervisor or an influencer or a monarch, there are certain things that you shouldn't say to anybody, but there's definitely things you shouldn't say to people that you have authority over. If my boss says to me,
You look like you got diabetes.
I might laugh along, not because I think the joke's funny, but because I want to impress my supervisor. If you're hosting a live stream and it's getting to you because it's late and you're tired or you're drunk, then you should probably go to bed.
All I said was go to bed.
And the insults that the king used, they go beyond just one person, because the insults that he used were specifically about weight and being unattractive. He made fun of his girlfriend, just things that people have real issues. Not having a dad?
You ain't got a daddy though, do you?
Who is your daddy?
I don't know my father.
And it's true that comedy is subjective, and not everybody finds the same things funny, but comedy is also a lot like porn. You know it when you see it. I don't really think what Joey was doing was comedy. I think it was insult. And maybe you disagree. Maybe you think that insult humor is really good, and that's okay. You're allowed to have bad taste. After this stream, there was an outcry from the community, and Joey made an well, okay, it wasn't an apology video, but
This is not an apology video.
he made a video. When I watched that video, and I encourage you to watch it yourself and make up your own mind, but to me it came off like damage control. Even the title gaslights the audience.
100,000 people are never going to care about anything in your life.
The king starts this video saying that people who make videos about him are bitter or jealous, how he gets hate messages all the time, how his family received threats.
Going after my children, my family, friends, etc.
Which is terrible, but I don't see how that connects to the kid. It's not like he thought that this kid was the one responsible for saying these things to his family. What this position does is it enables his supporters to view people who make videos about him as clout chasing or threatening his image, as opposed to ever having a real legitimate concern. After Joey makes this video and sort of makes it clear that he should, not have said some of these things.
Like if I fat shamed,
It was still funny.
said homophobic slurs,
No apologies.
I should not talk or say things like that.
I don't feel sorry.
I'm sorry.
He went on to have another live stream, this time with a woman named Abby. She had come onto the stream to
talk to you about your use of the N-word. And you said, get the fuck out of here. I'll say the N-word if I want to, but you didn't say the N-word. You said it.
I didn't say it was a hard R.
You can tell this stream is going to be weird when right out of the gate, the king starts just by talking very strangely to Abby.
How you doing, little mama? I'm good too. I like your eyebrows.
First and foremost, I think you're beautiful.
I love your hair. But you might need to shape it a little bit different.
Ew, what the fuck? Hi, it's Editing Justin. I just wanted to jump in here because there's a lot to this next part of the video, and I'm not sure I talked about it very well the first time through. If you have empathy, this next part's really difficult to watch. Aside from those inappropriate comments, Joey mansplains or white mansplains Abby's own race to her.
If you're second half or you're whatever percentage, because you're not half.
You can't look at somebody for 5 minutes and then 23andMe them with your eyeballs.
You're probably like 63% black. Who knows? It's genetics.
Joey also has this tactic during this conversation where he keeps asking just unrelated questions.
Do you believe that I'm saying it randomly? How much time have you done?
You don't even know where the word motherfucker came from?
Like they're playing a game of Guess Who.
Do you believe I'm a dick?
You don't know the capital of Mordor? It looks like the king is busy rolling something at the beginning of the conversation, and he even smokes during the call. I'm not saying he did anything illicit, but it is a weird choice. It's probably just a Black and Mild because it looks like it's got the plastic tip on it. Although he does ask her, what did I say?
What did I say?
Like a lot.
When did I say the N-word?
During this conversation.
What did I say?
For what? Give me a quote. Okay, when did I say the N-word? I didn't say it with a hard R.
Sounds like you're confused.
Also, smoking a Black and Mild inside? I know Canada's cold, but put on a second t-shirt and go outside.
Stop saying that.
No, let's talk about the origination of it if you're so offended by it. Where did black slaves begin?
Gatekeeping about slavery? Nobody owes you a history lesson so that they can just make a point.
I'm not fucking doing this with you.
Do you believe if I was there with you and somebody made you feel like that, I would let it happen?
For all of his talk,
People in your town are just fucking bullying me.
a single word to his followers would have been something,
Do you believe that I can control what people say?
but he can't stand up for somebody when they're right in front of him.
And you wanted me to let you speak?
And I was courteous and I allowed you to have a voice.
Joey seems to know so much about race and racism, and then also says this.
Don't have white privilege. I live in an all-white town.
Because I've been referred to as the N-word by white people with an A and an R.
I haven't, so I can't relate. I live in an all-white town.
You can lead a horse to water. There is a lot to this, but let's go back to me for the worst part. The real kicker is that at the end of this call, after Abby leaves,
I'm going to end it in this. You're making it sound like I said N-I-E-R, which has never come out of my name.
Joey goes on to say the exact same slur that Abby had gotten on the call to talk to him about.
I didn't say N-I-G-E-R, which has
never come out of my name.
In Joey's non-apology video, he talks about how people take clips out of context. And I'm trying to give you the context in which he said these things, and they're still awful.
Intention doesn't matter. You shouldn't say it.
I'm going to.
Joey, if you want good content of you out there, then maybe just make good content.
All in all, it's just another break
The King's reign began about 12 years ago, but I never found anything about the coronation. At its start, Joey's videos were kind of how-to videos on how to raise different types of fish or build filters. Joey's current style of video is more like an aquarist's vlog. I watched a recent video of his where he was dealing with a fungal problem in one of his tanks.
The problem that happened was fungal. By introducing this rock, an imbalance occurred.
And the way that he fixed this fungal problem is that he put medicine in the water.
And they can't say that it's a medication, they can't say
What it actually does,
it just promotes
fish health.
This is definitely a medication.
This is somebody whose own banner says that his job is to educate and inspire, but this didn't teach me anything.
And of course, scrubbing.
I put this in there and it got better.
The learning is in all of the problems and issues that arise in the aquarium.
Joey's style, and other creators are like this too, they kind of bumble along and they make mistakes and they say that their channel is teaching based on the problems that they have. Could you imagine if this was how zoos and aquariums actually taught themselves? All right, everybody, right this way. This is the experimental aquarium. Here we don't do any research. We don't hire professionals here. No, everything we learn at the aquarium, we learn by doing. Yes, I see we have a question. Yeah, what's in that tank? Oh, that tank right there, that's our tuna and toaster tank. We learned a whole lot during our opening week, namely that tuna don't like electricity. There are some other videos from Joey which I think aren't that bad. There was one about quarantining fish, and I thought that that was pretty good. I would hope that Joey is good at quarantining new arrivals, because if you look at Joey's recent content, specifically the last 6 months, you'll notice that he has had quite a number of new arrivals. I probably sound like a broken record at this point, but channels that have high turnover rates are sketchy. Looking back about 2 years ago, Joey made a video about his childhood.
I went from living a normal life to living a life where violence was every day.
How he was bullied in school.
And bullied. You can't move to tears when you sound stupid. A lot.
How he ended up in and out of jail.
By the time I hit 15, I started going to jail.
At one point, he talks about how he was arrested for allegedly assaulting somebody with a knife.
And grabbed the knife that one of them had and put it against the throat of the main aggressor.
According to his retelling of events, he certainly wasn't at fault. In court, when none of the witnesses showed up for the trial,
none of the witnesses showed up, though.
Joey's lawyer asked him
if I had anything to do with that.
And Joey says,
told him no.
But then Joey goes on to say,
based on who I was at the time, though,
and you guys know the answer as to what actually happened there.
Just to say the quiet part loud, Joey alleges that he intimidated witnesses of a violent crime into not testifying. That is pretty kingly. In that video, Joey goes on to say that he has trouble with getting angry and defensive.
I still get pretty angry sometimes. I still get pretty defensive.
I believe that. He also says,
I have this ability to forget traumatic events.
And I believe that too. But dude, that's what therapy is for. Joey talks about how the aquarium business changed his life.
And have changed it forever.
And I also believe that, but I don't think that this changed who Joey is. Something I noticed when reviewing the King's videos is that he doesn't really advocate for people who were in his similar position growing up. Now, maybe I've missed something. I joke about leading by example a lot of the time on this channel, and I actually legitimately want to do that here. I've decided that for every like this video gets, I'm going to donate $1 to the Equal Justice Initiative, up to say 500 likes. They're working to end mass incarceration and excessive punishment and racial injustice, and I just think they're a really worthy cause.
People would stop teasing me if they knew they were going to get a punch in the mouth.
These days, it's not a punch in the mouth, though. Joey just copyright strikes other creators. I'm not trying to cancel Joey. I just want him to learn from his behavior.
Don't let your past depict your future.
And I hope other people learn from this moment too. I'm not condoning hating anybody, but I do think that you vote with your time and with your clicks. There are other channels out there that can inspire and educate you, but if you're gonna stay as a Joey supporter, then at least hold him to a higher standard. He should hold himself to one. The copyright claim suggests that the king isn't sorry, he just doesn't want people to know what he did. Like I said, this is the final episode of Internet Animal Content. I do have an announcement that's coming up, hopefully for my 100 subscriber special. So subscribe to the channel, stay tuned for that. Definitely tune in for next time because I'm going to teach you how to DIY a guillotine. Bye. Why is he called the king of DIY? It doesn't make any sense. Like, I'm pretty sure that anybody on the show making it could DIY circles around him.